since we have a forum.
All right, welcome everybody. It's the Arts Council October board meeting. It's 6:33 and I am Patrick Storm. We are recording this, so we will be sharing this with you later on our YouTube channel. So I will hand it off now to Tawana. Thank you for being here.
Fantastic, welcome. We do have a, I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call. Barbara?
Here.
Sierra?
Here.
Gloria?
Here.
Delgreta?
Here.
Jakob? Unity? Tiffany?
Gabe.
Gabe? And then staff, we have Darcy?
Hello.
Patrick?
Hello.
Jim? Hey, Jim. And Catherine.
Tiffany's not here, right?
No, Tiffany's not here. Okay, so we do want to make sure that the records reflect that we do have a quorum and we do have a guest joining us today, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Jeff King. I'm Darcy's neighbor, and she invited me to participate and see what next steps are that I can maybe participate in.
We are very happy to have you with joining us today. So thank you so much.
Jeff is newly retired. Congratulations, Jeff.
Oh,
Congratulations on your retirement then.
you're bored already and looking for work, huh?
Yeah, thanks.
Love it.
So the unexcused absences. Hey, Catherine, please make sure Tiffany,
Gabe.
Unity, Gabe, and Jakob.
And Unity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any additions to the agenda? No? Any public comments at this particular time? Nope, hearing none. The consent agenda. Any questions with regards to the financials that were sent out? Barbara?
Well, we have to approve those minutes, Tawana. Otherwise, they're not going to be good for when we have to go get
can
Barbara.
we just do the budget first?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So
yeah. Any questions on the budget? Anybody? Yeah. You reviewed them, and did you have any questions? Because we do have a balanced budget. It's been submitted to the county. As far as I know, they're happy. We've submitted our first quarter report, which we'll talk about at the next meeting. No questions? All right. Tawana, do you want to go on to the scope of work? Or you want to bypass that?
No, I really and truly, with regards to the budget.
Okay.
And I know I'm a little bit out of order here, but what I'm wanting to do is to make sure that we review those things before members have a chance, probably to have to drop off. That's my fear. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate you.
No problem. Happy to help.
Oh, on the budget, let me add something, Tuan. I just thought of it.
Okay.
So the budget does not show our CAC grant money. That's the California Arts grant that we received. And that has two reasons. One, they notified us by mail that we've received it and how much. But there's a second part of that we have to fill out and send it to them. And so technically, until that's done, it's not ours, but the next budget update will have that in the column where it says contributed revenue, and then it'll say state grants, the third item down. That will have the $66,600 grant, $600 grant that we will get them. So that will be added to the budget.
Okay, with regards to this budget, Barbara, any, what I'm wanting to do the next time we're together, and I fully anticipate we're gonna have more of the board members there. I'm really wanting to make sure Unity as our treasurer, and I know he holds that position, maybe not in a professional, but officially he is working with in that capacity.
Right.
So I'm wanting us, you, myself, and Unity to sit down and review that budget so that there's an understanding of really and truly what it entails. Because I think we sent it out. And I have no doubt members are taking a look at it, but maybe there's an opportunity to do some development around it when it comes down to especially fiduciary responsibility.
Right.
We as a board are responsible for making sure this budget is accurate, and as Unity's responsibilities really and truly entail him being part of your presentation on this.
Right. He went over it with Barbara Wauters, and by the way, Barbara Wauters is having surgery on her shoulder tomorrow. She's having shoulder replacement, so she's going to be probably out of the game for maybe at least 2 weeks. I'm not quite sure, but I just talked to her today. She's going to let me know.
Okay. All right.
But everything's paid. Everything's on automatic. The only issue we have is for the next month when staff submits their monthly request for funding. Yes, thank you, Catherine. So, but we've got time on that because that just came in and that's going out. So,
okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot for that. Any comments or questions about the budget?
I'll just add that I think 15,000 is a lofty goal for ads, but that would be awesome if we do that this year.
Well, I think they went based on previous grants, and it also, I believe that also includes the graphic design part of it. That's included on that.
I was looking at the revenue side.
Yeah.
But you know what, that in and of itself, Darcy, is a great opportunity when we talk about board development. What's our responsibility as board members to help contribute to this budget, contribute to the revenue side of it, on it. So one of the things that we'll be talking about is board members helping out, having board members really and truly understand making the ask. I'm not so sure we as a board certainly have done our due diligence in supplying board members with the opportunity to understand how do we make the ask and what does that ask look like. And that's something that I'm going to be focusing on. So maybe that's why this is top of mind for me. I know we're going to be doing the work with Big Day of Giving, and part of that process strategically will be having board members identify at least 10 businesses or 10 consumers, 10 people that they do business with, so that we can do the ask, and then working on doing the ask. But I know you need that for ad information right now. I'm not,
That's okay.
again,
It's new, so give it a go.
oh no, and you know what, I think that we will, given that the work that ACPC does, I think we're going to be good. I really and truly do. We've also got a number of opportunities to make ask when we get before some of our local towns, when we go receive our proclamations. Perfect opportunity to do some ask that we just need to provide our board members with. What does that language look like? So, all right. So that I know that's top of mind for me. Yeah, sorry about that. I know I'm out of order, but that one to me is just really and truly on my mind. The consent agenda, board meeting minutes. can I get a motion for minutes for August 16th and September 20th?
I have a question.
Sure, Delgreta.
For Poetry Out Loud, is it reflected in the budget anywhere?
Okay, well, let's go back.
It won't be reflected right now, Del Greta,
Okay,
because that comes out of California for the Arts Council. So
Okay.
when that funding comes in and it's attached, as soon as we get the final thing on it, then it will show the Poetry Out Loud, which is the $5,000 that was as part of the grant. And then we'll work on, as we talked today, about what previous budgets looked like and where we can go from there with that $5,000. Okay?
okay,
Does that answer your question?
yes,
And part of that also grant is we asked for to get the grant, you have to make asks and you have to put it in certain places. So we did ask for, actually more. We didn't get as much as we had asked for, but a heck of a lot more than we've ever gotten. So we're thrilled with that. But we did ask.
What was the amount that you asked for?
Well, there's no amount for the Poetry Out Loud. It's standard. It's
Okay.
$5,000 every year. Okay, so that's just in there. And if you get the grant, you get the $5,000. And that was a part of the original 75 before the state cut it down to 70, or the feds cut it down to 70. So we got 66.6, so we're real happy about that. But we've got two other parts of that. One is the underserved grants that we're going to talk about, and then staffing grants to help with executive director and cultural mapping AAP6 staffing. And so we'll sit down and talk about how we're gonna, the percentages that we're gonna allocate for that, because we didn't get everything we asked for. So
Okay, not a problem.
any questions? Did that make sense to everybody? Okay,
Good
guess
question, Delgreta. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, consent agenda, approval for board meeting minutes, August 6th, September 20th for 2023. Can I just get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thanks, Gloria. On this item number 5, Barbara?
We have to second it and approve.
no,
it.
we don't have to second it, Catherine. We're
No?
a
we don't.
small organization. There's no second for us. Thank you. I'm sorry, Catherine. I thought you knew that. I
Sorry,
say it I say it every time. It doesn't matter. It's just, that's the way it is. For future reference, we don't need a second if anybody is doing it. So what
Hey,
was
Catherine, we don't do seconds for our motions, considering we are just a small organization.
Yeah.
So we just typically ask for a motion to approve.
what was the question that was asked?
There was no question asked. I was talking about number 5, other voting items, this Barbara Wauters able to sign check. I know we're wanting to do that for convenience, but as I think about it, convenience is really not necessarily an incentive just to make, I'm not so sure convenience is a sound business practice when it comes down to checks and balances. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And I know we're wanting to make sure that she is able to get the work done. She and I have communicated when it comes down to her needing checks signed, and
Right.
I'm readily available to do that. I'm just not wanting to put into the organization sound business practice that we're just going to do what's convenient.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a definitive question. I believe it's okay in our bylaws. But it was brought up because everything was being paid electronically, and we went back to the old way of paying grants by checks because there was quite a few issues on the electronic transfers with the grant money. So Barbara wants to do it by going back to doing the grants. So she's willing to mail them, as long as we can get them signed. Tawana, as long as you can make sure you get them signed. we don't really have to do that. I know she'd like to, and I'm not at all concerned about her doing it. She's been with us forever. But yeah, it's your call to Anna. I
Just
I
wanted
agree with you.
when it comes down to
Yeah.
our business practices reflecting that we're doing our due diligence about
Right.
putting into place sound business practices. I just wonder how would it look to say that we did it just because it's convenient. The one thing that I am, if we want to go back and take a look at doing it electronically, because that to me is a lot quicker. So
Yeah,
I-
there was a lot of problems of checks that did not were not accepted within the other banking system, and I know we went through quite a few of them the last 2 grant cycles. So some organizations are regular grant cycles organizations. There's no problem. Sometimes it's the newer ones. So you
There
know,
were, there were hours spent
yes, thank
going
you,
back
Catherine.
and forth with correct addresses, and the bank didn't recognize them. And Barbara and I spent a lot of time trying to track it down.
yeah, and I get that.
So
And
digital really doesn't work for us because they're not always the same grantees.
okay, so then that just leads me to other questions. If we are approving grants for organizations and we should be making sure that we can have the correct information.
We did. It's the bank that didn't recognize our correct information.
Our bank or their bank?
The bank that was, she was using to issue the digital checks.
So our bank.
No, it wasn't our bank. It was the other bank that we were
Okay.
sending it to.
And then I go back, and then I go to, if we've got an organization who's setting up their banking responsibilities, in order for the bank to work with them, the addresses have to be correct.
They were,
Okay, so then
but the bank didn't recognize them digitally. Don't ask me why. but it
oh,
happened.
okay, and I get that, but I'm just having a hard problem. I'm having a hard time
Oh,
with the regulations. If we've got an organization that's going to a bank that says, I want to do business with you, here's my address. And in order for them to do business with that bank, they have to supply an address, an accurate address. And then if they're wanting to then submit an application, that's the address we're going to use. But then you say it's our bank that's creating the problem.
From what I understand, it's the bank that it's going to.
It was Umpqua.
Was it?
Yeah.
They weren't
So it's just one
recognizing.
bank?
Umpqua.
So
Okay.
one bank?
As far as I know, it was Umpqua. That's the only bank.
Okay, so one bank, and we're wanting to change business practices for one bank.
Well, I think we ought to talk offline with this later with Barbara.
Okay,
Wauters.
that sounds fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. That sounds fine. So
And I don't disagree with you, but we do have to, you're on the, we have to change your, on the card, we have to change your designation from vice chair to chair. And we also have to change, the, treasurer, from, no, I guess it was secretary. I'm sorry. It's secretary because it was Julie and it's now Gloria Beverage. So we've got to get Gloria on that because she's technically a signee for any documents also.
okay, so what does
Okay.
that look like?
We have to get a card from Umpqua Bank
So
and
whose responsibility is that?
that can be anybody's response. You or I can do that. And what we have to do is have these 2 sets of minutes. That's why we had to get them okayed. And then tonight, well, it won't matter tonight because if we don't do Barbara, it won't matter. Because those were when the when the elections were done. We have to have a copy of the minutes to be
So we already
submitted.
we have those minutes.
Yep.
So we'll get the cards changed.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And I made a note here that we'll follow up. And then you and Catherine and I, Barbara, can sit down and talk about what does it look like when it comes down to this issue, this technological issue, it sounds like, between the banks, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's, I know Barbara called and talked to him a lot, and so, but anyway, you
Okay.
know, you might absolutely be right on this, Tawana, because, you know, things happen in life, and we don't, maybe that we're really confident in who we're working with now, but that doesn't mean she's going to be with us forever. And then it's in the
Let's just have a meeting with
Yeah.
Bank, because they are really good about facilitating what we need done. And I know Aaron over there
yeah,
they are so wanting to make sure they work with us. So maybe it's just
they're extremely helpful.
they
Yeah.
are. So I
Yeah.
would say let's just see if we can meet with her
Yeah.
to get everything clarified. Okay.
Okay, we'll talk about what, because I don't need to change any, oh yeah, you gotta take me, okay, never mind.
Yeah, we do.
We'll talk.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, sounds good. Our next meeting, December 15th. I'm sorry, November 15th. I do want to make that like a holiday party, if we can do a holiday celebration. So Barbara, that's probably another thing that we can add to the agenda that when we sit down to meet, and see if we can do something in person.
Yeah, well,
location.
I'll have to look, I'll have to talk to Barbara about the budget.
All right,
So,
that sounds great.
because we just did the 40th icon party, and that was a, you know, not a huge hit, but still.
We'll talk about it and see
Yeah,
what we
we'll
can do
talk
then.
about it, okay?
All right.
Yep.
So great.
One option, Tawana, is make it a potluck.
Absolutely. I was thinking.
no host.
Could be. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, a potluck or a no host.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be in person. We will find a location. It won't be the BRC because we have wine to drink. So we'll make sure business gets taken care of, but we do have wine left over from the 40th icons, and it's just a matter of finding a location to help us out.
What about the place in Roseville that we went to the last time where we took the photographs?
Oh yeah. I can check with them to
Because
see.
they had all the tables and they have a kitchen facility and all of that.
You're
Small
absolutely-
kitchen setup.
Yeah.
That was a really fabulous place.
I will check with them and see if November 15th is available.
Okay.
That was
What's the name of that place?
it was with Monique
The
Brown,
Growth Factory.
The Growth Factory, yes.
They may have a no alcohol policy as well. Just a heads up,
Uh-oh.
because they actually have on-site security. So I don't think their insurance covers it.
Okay. But we'll find a location. Everything. So we've looked at the budget, the scope of work. Barbara?
General updates. I think I've updated you on everything somewhere in the conversation. The health and welfare of our staff and our board members. And then the next time we will be going over the first quarter report. Now, we've not done that in the past, but I feel it's necessary that we should, everybody should be aware of it and how and why we need to do it for the county, because it's basically every 3 months we have to do a quarter report, update them what we're doing. And with that new scope of work, it's a different amount of data that they're requiring. It took a village to put this one together. And Catherine and I spent, what was not last weekend, the week before, Catherine? No, the 14th, 15th, we spent 2 days just finishing it up, but everybody was fabulous. I mean, Darcy and Patrick and
Barbara,
Trent.
can you tell us what the changes are to that scope of work?
We'd have to do it line item by line item, and we'd have to go through the scope of work, because the big picture is the previous scopes of work that was negotiated with the county before me had all of the things that we do that we had to update on it. The new scope of work basically is more informational data, grants, things that we have to give them information on how we're spending the money. Pretty much that's it. And we send them everything but the kitchen sink. So I don't think they should be questioning anything, but that's basically the outline. It's more data driven, more funding, more grants, how we're changing the grants, how we're working on that because we have deadlines to meet. December 31st is the deadline for the grants to be on the website. Sometime in January, the beginning of January, the grants have to open up. So, we've got certain deadlines we have to meet.
Okay, so
Barbara?
Barbara,
Yep.
I was just gonna suggest if you can send that final quarterly report out to everyone, and if board members or anyone attending tonight have suggestions on ways to incorporate more quantitative data they're
Yeah.
looking for, I think we can always do better in our reporting. So it'd be nice to
Did-
have fresh perspectives.
Catherine, did we send that to the board members? I thought we did afterwards. No, we didn't.
No,
We talked.
we didn't do it on this agenda.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because it was too.
Too full
It was
already.
too
Yeah,
full.
keep
Yeah,
going.
I meant to, I had it sent to go out on this agenda, but it was too full, so everybody could review it. Yes, absolutely, because this, Darcy, we've talked about it, this report, the first one, is everything but the kitchen sink, because we wanted to let them know where we were on everything. The next 2, 3, 4, I think will be more focused on dates, data, and what we're doing.
hey, Barbara, for our meeting, I'm really wanting the board members to get a sense of what goes into completing that scope of work. So those dates that you're talking about, all of the board members should have that information. So that's why I'm wanting to go through that scope of work. All of the board members should have a copy of the scope of work with
They
an
do.
understanding of
Yeah.
what we are tasked with as a partner with the Placer County to get these items completed. And I know the work that was done to revamp the grants, really wanting to have a conversation about that. So I'll check in with Tiffany. I know she's on there, and I know Gloria, kudos, thank you. So
Yeah.
appreciate your now being
Yeah.
in charge of grants. So that grants committee,
Yeah.
thank you very, very much for stepping up to the plate. It is very, very much appreciated. But that's what I'm wanting to make sure that we share with the board at large when it comes down to the work that's required to meet the demands of that scope of work.
Yeah.
And I know some of the board members are going to be tasked with completing part of that scope of work, just like in that scope of work, if I'm not mistaken, we talk about poetry out loud. So Del Greta has stepped up to the plate, and she's leading that project for us
Yes.
in that scope of work. And we're also going to be talking about it from the standpoint of the cultural mapping study. Where does that fit in? Which board members can we now task with helping us achieve those goals and everything? So at our next board meeting, going to have Gloria share with us the role of the grants committee when it comes down to completing the scope of work that we're going to be sharing with Placer County on a quarterly basis of how we're getting things done. Thank you so much, Patrick, for putting it up there. Thank you so much for putting it up there. So in that scope of work, especially those first 6 items, those are things that ACPC must do as really and truly our due diligence with Placer County to getting those things done. So the grants program, we've got Gloria helping out there. We've revamped that whole grant process, which it should have been done. I'm also wanting to make sure that the board understands the work that was done with Placer County that said, hey, you guys, we need for you, Del Greta, we need for you to take an opportunity to work on your infrastructure. So we're not going to ask you to do any work, or we're going to ask you to use monies that would have been applied to grants to work on your infrastructure. The board needs to be aware of that and what that looks like. So taking an opportunity to discuss that next time. That board, the budget, that's why I'm wanting to make sure that Unity, really and truly, he's a board member that's been tasked with what's our role as ACPC when it comes down to making sure that budget looks we're accomplishing everything on that budget, and that it does spell out how we're spending the money, expenses, revenue, and all of that, because we are responsible for that. The promotion of arts and cultural events. What that to me speaks a little bit about the cultural mapping study, what is it? AEP6? Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So that's what I'm wanting to go through. And I'm not so sure I have been as diligent as I should have been to helping our newer board members understand their role and responsibility when it comes down to completing the scope of work, because ultimately we're responsible for it. We sign off on it.
I think
So-
we're in good shape. Staff met a week ago, and staff all has been assigned certain parts of it to work with each other, where it really focuses on what they do. So to be able to like Gloria is doing the grant. So there's two parts to the grants. I think some of you may have heard this. There's two parts of the grants: the grant money that comes in and the grant money that goes out. So Gloria is part of the grant money that goes out because she's on the grant committee, and she's now the lead of the grant committee. Her and Catherine have taken all of the documentation that was provided by the grant committee when we had previous meetings on how to improve this, along with the suggestions from the county on how to improve it, and they're moving along. So between Catherine and Gloria's doing a great job. I think they're going to have in the near future something as an outline for everybody to see.
Okay, great. That would be fantastic. We'll make sure that give Gloria an opportunity to share that with the board. Del Greta is finding typos.
I can't help it. I was really trying to read and dig into the
No
really
worries.
understand this document and how it fits in with Poetry Out Loud.
Yeah, we didn't write it. We did the original, but the final draft came from the county.
So, and we'll talk more about that. We'll add that
Yeah.
to the list of things to review from the scope of work that really and truly the board needs to be aware of.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I totally agree with you. That's why I've been trying to get it out there. I think we put it out there before. We did the rough drafts we put out there, and we didn't get a lot of feedback on that, which, people might not have any feedback on it. They don't quite understand everything.
And
in the past, this has not been done. So that's why we want to do it now.
Yeah,
Make it a practice of, this is how we do. Everybody knows what they're doing. They should know everything we're doing. And if they don't, shame on them.
Absolutely. You're exactly right. So we'll talk about that and talk more about what does that look like when we share it with the board, because I know there are opportunities that board members are going to be tasked with to ensuring that ACPC lives up to its mission. And part of that is operational when it comes down to what do they look like from the scope of work, which is included in which includes our cultural mapping study and the AEP6. So, and also any opportunities to help staff too with their responsibilities, because I think we as a board should be out there promoting Arts Council Placer County. Not to mention we should be out there promoting art, but we should be out there promoting Arts Council Placer County. So what opportunities are there for us to join in with staff to do that? Showing up at an event. Part of board development that jumping a little bit ahead, is asking each board member on a monthly basis, what art events are you attending, so that we can showcase you as a board member, but also talk about ACPC. All right.
With that in mind, do we have a head count of anyone from the board that's going to be attending the Taste of the Tour Saturday? I think
that's the one at Blue Line. That's not the big one in
no, it's not. It's not the huge celebration. I think it's just the opening of the art.
Yeah.
I am going to be there.
Okay. I think it's at
Anyone
noon.
else?
I can put that in the camera.
No, I've gone to some, oh, Darcy, those look good.
The new name
Oh,
tags
Darcy.
arrived.
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
anyone needs one before Saturday, I can leave them on my porch for you.
Oh my gosh,
Just let
you're
me know.
awesome.
What,
Fantastic.
how is it
So-
adhered? Is it a pin on the back?
We got magnetic. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Darcy.
All right.
You're welcome.
And-
I'm
and
gonna
I
hand them
like-
out at the meeting tonight, but I can't hand it to you over Zoom. So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
moving along.
And the Taste of the Tour on Saturday starts at 11 o'clock at Blue Line.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there for about an hour. But yeah, I have it on the calendar. I know I've got some other things, but yes. Anyone else? Are you there, Patrick and Darcy?
And not this weekend.
Okay, no worries.
Unfortunately.
I've gone to the last two, so I'm taking with thinking I'm coming down with something from this shot. I'm taking a pass.
And that's no worries. We've got so much
Yep.
coming up in anticipation of
Yep.
next month's event that there's going to be a lot of events going on where we'll be able to attend. Thank
Yeah,
you. Darcy.
I dropped off a couple of things today, Darcy. I dropped off at Sheridan. I dropped off some of the tour guides at the Peacock Cafe and the elementary school. But I dropped off a bunch of the coloring pages. Jim got them to Catherine, and she got them to me, and so we dropped them off. They were thrilled to have them. So.
And if you're ever not sure of what's going on, you can always go to our Facebook page and then click over to more and find events, and then just scroll down and you'll see a whole bunch of stuff that's going on.
That Sun City holiday market's always really good. I used to go to it all the time when I was down at the Art Lake. It's usually pretty good.
Oh, Sierra, I do want to hear about that. I was there for a short period of time. Sierra's letting us know that she was on the Truth for the Youth listening today. Thank you for sharing this,
good.
Patrick,
Good.
so
You're
that
welcome.
everybody will know. I do hope everybody is following ACPC. Everybody on the call.
Yeah. Instagram,
you too.
Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah,
Yes.
the main one for the Taste of the Tour that I want to make sure everybody has on their calendars is the Saturday, November 4th. That's the
big one.
that
Yeah.
we really need to have all of our board members
Yeah,
at.
full stuff. Let me ask Sierra real quick, Sierra, because I wasn't sure you were going to show up. Did they end up doing not a video, but a sound on that thing today for the Hip Hop Congress?
What do you mean a sound, like a virtual
They said
option?
they were gonna do not a virtual, but a sound virtual that I had heard when I talked to
Like-
Natalie.
Yeah, I wasn't sure at the beginning. They did say something that made me think that there was maybe a virtual option that they were doing, but
Yeah.
they
There
said it-
was.
yeah,
Okay,
they
good.
were like, oh, here's YouTube, and then that was it.
Yeah,
I was
because I
there
know when I
for
talked to Natalie, but 3 weeks ago, I suggested it. But I am so happy you were able to make it. I was supposed to be there, and after I started feeling bad, Delgrita's sicker than a dog, and Gloria's coming to, and we were all signed up to be there, and I had to call and back out. And I am so glad you were able to make it, because I heard you might be, so I was keeping my fingers crossed. And I'd
Yeah,
love to talk to you about it.
So it was a perfect timing. I was getting over being sick. So, and when I got there, they're like, everybody's sick. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was an amazing event.
Yeah.
I took personal notes that may not make sense for everybody, but I'm happy to share whenever you guys want.
Great. Yeah, I drove past there last night, and they were setting up all the chairs and everything. And I after I got my my injection, right? Yeah, great. I'm so happy, because there's some ideas I have for the underserved grant that I would maybe talk to Natalie about, but first I want to talk to you and see what you felt.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sierra.
Thank you.
And I was there on YouTube for about.
Were
an
you
hour.
on it? It's
Yeah.
on their YouTube thing.
Yeah, It
Great,
was, they were
perfect.
broadcasting from YouTube. I couldn't,
Yeah.
like I said, I did I did about an hour and then I had another
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, she said, I said, aren't you taping it or doing it? And she said, no, but maybe we should. And I said, yeah. So I'm glad that they did. That's good. Terrific. Thank
They're
you both.
taking your notes. We would like to get some more information regarding your notes. And I'm jumping ahead a little bit because I know for our cultural mapping study, we talk about bringing youth on board. So that's one of the things, the task with you and Gabe and Jakob, having you really and truly focus on what does that look like from our youth, bringing youth on board, bringing youth board members on board too.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this is a little off topic, but so during that whole conversation, they were talking a lot about youth homelessness. And it just so happens that the San Diego YMCA is partnering with our YMCA, and they're doing this huge youth homelessness event. They're walking or biking or taking public transportation from San Diego to Sacramento. And they'll be here on November 7th. And they're hosting a huge youth homelessness awareness event. And I invited that whole group. I will invite you guys if I can. I'm trying to find the invitation. I thought she emailed it to me. But hopefully that'll be a good experience to connect with the teens and be able to invite them to come to a board meeting.
Oh, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think the next item on the agenda is general updates. Barbara, did you have any?
I just did those. Remember,
Okay.
yeah, Gloria
That's
and
neat.
everything they was doing. Yeah.
We're on to
Gloria.
cultural mapping study.
Yep.
D.
All right. Cultural mapping study, very pleased to report we're already implementing many of the recommendations. I'll share just quickly a couple of highlights with you. Barbara hired a contractor to do grant research and writing, so we're off and running there. Tawana coordinated with the city of Rockland on a proclamation for November Arts and Culture Month. Now we'll need the other 5 cities to go knock on their door, maybe one a year if we don't get them all 5 this year.
Yeah.
So that way we'll have.
Isn't Auburn doing one? I thought I got a letter from Auburn.
Auburn is doing October, and they're
Yeah.
recognizing us for Arts and Humanity Month.
Yeah, isn't that Monday? I think that's Monday.
Monday, the
Yeah.
23rd, and then Rockland is doing November as Art and Culture for Placer County.
Great.
And
So
I
thank you.
did send it to Roseville. I'm still waiting to hear back. So
That's so odd that you haven't heard back from them. But and again, there's so much, just excited that we're keeping it rolling, taking our report and research and turning it into action. So next steps we're looking at, we'd like to hire staff, a recruiter volunteer to take the lead in further implementing recommendations, and a couple of examples just to make it clear. And certainly there's huge lists to choose from in our report, but coordinate ACPC volunteers, organize a volunteer program, and do volunteer appreciation and recognition. Another example is organizing the grantee testimonials. Catherine and Barbara have worked very hard on collecting information that they report back, but put it all together with collecting photos and then creating stories that we can use and feature them in our newsletter or on our website. So if there's any board members or volunteers who'd be interested in a project like that, we can turn them loose on it. I'll connect with the county, Placer County PIO, so that we can get our newsletter distributed out in their county news. That should be an easy one to get in motion. So there's many more recommendations. Check out pages 7 through 19 on the cultural mapping study, plus everything in our 5-year plan. So we're focusing now on just, it's nice they broke it into years 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we keep breaking into bite-sized pieces, and we'll keep working to build equity, enhance our workforce development, and engage youth. And we'll keep shouting that out everywhere.
Yeah.
questions for Darcy around the cultural mapping study?
I want to say one thing here. I take notes and I do it on screen. My screen is frozen. I've got the twirling globe and I can't get out of it. I've already written a lot. And so I may come back to you, the ones who were talking, to fill in later because I
You bet. Catherine, I'll give
And-
you all of these 3 items. I have them all in note
I-
form for you.
do it longhand and my arm doesn't want to do it after.
Oh,
That's good. And we're recording as well. So
there you go.
There you go. We're recording, Catherine, so
Phew.
sorry about that.
Take a break right now. Take a break, and I'll keep talking fast and know that it's written down for you. Want me to go on to the
Yeah,
AEP6? Great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Uh,
was that not fantastic? Sorry,
Yay.
that
Yeah.
AEP6 was awesome.
Give a thumbs up or woohoo if you were able to watch any of it yet.
Yep.
Yay, 3 of us, good. It was exciting. Kind of
Yeah.
fun to be on a Zoom with Rita Moreno and Josh Groban too. So
Yeah,
that's
it
not
was-
something we normally do.
It was nice. It was fun.
The recording is now available, so I'll forward that email to you this week so you can watch it. And there's a fantastic poet laureate in there, and many other components that you'll enjoy. Patrick sent out a press release. We did an email distribution with the report, with highlights in our social media campaign. Trent posts the reports on our website, so they're accessible there. We have both the Placer County and the national results reports. So you can take a look at both of those. Fantastic data in there. For right now, everyone, please save the date. Luckily, we will have Randy Cohen here in person to present. Thanks so much to Sarah, the Sacramento Alliance for Regional Arts. They reached out and said, hey, would you want to partner up? So we're cost sharing in organizing that. So I'll continue working with Sierra College, who will be a sponsor as providing the venue. And we should have all those ducks in a row.
Darcy,
So
did Nevada County get back to you? I know you were talking about possibly having them with the Randy Cohen thing, because they did you mentioned it in an email.
Yeah, Patrick was sharing. Go ahead, Patrick.
yeah, they have a different date because they have a different person. So there's no options
okay.
because they actually were asking us to change their date, our date into April to do it with them. But the dates don't work up and we're
Okay.
already locked in with Randy. So
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sacramento City is a locked council and staff is locked in for March 15th. And so we're
March
locking in March
15th,
14th.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Besides the economic development staff, elected officials, will include Sierra College faculty and students. I want to throw out to the board and ask and everyone in attendance, who else you might recommend that we invite. So if you have ideas off the top of your head, I can note them, Catherine, so you don't have to write, or you can email me later if you have ideas.
How big is the theater there? How many seats do we have? Do you know?
Isn't that a few hundred, Patrick? It's been a while since I've been there. Does anyone
Yeah.
else know?
Dietrich Theater?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the one when we did it at the State Theater for the AEP 5, I think there was probably maybe 35 or 40 people. It wasn't, but the one that they did in Sac when it used to be the B Street Theater, that was a full house almost. So
Yeah.
because I went to both of them, so we should really try to market the heck out of
I think
this.
Pack the House would be great. It'll be theater production time. And I said, if there are sets in place, that's a great backdrop for Randy
Yeah.
to present. So
It's so dynamic.
we can roll that.
too.
And a plan B, if we're not going to be that large, we can also ask them for a smaller venue as well, since she hasn't been able to lock in the theater. But we'd love to pack the house. I think having many students and faculty there, and who else? I throw that question out to all of you tonight. Who else?
You've got Board of Supervisors, right? Okay, so Board of
Oh.
Supervisors on it, some of
All of our
our
electeds.
40 icons
Oh.
are
Education.
really
We've got to
interesting.
hit the county educational board, because there's
COE.
there's such a tie-in on that as far as education and the arts and how it helps, create more
idea.
well-rounded human beings.
Okay.
You know what? The person, when it comes down to PCOE, would be the superintendent, Gail
Yeah.
Garbolino. I can't think of her last name.
Yo Gabriel Mojico.
Yes, being very about inviting her, and if she can't attend, she typically will send a representative. But you're right.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
thinking like all the principals, because I've done some outreach with a couple of them up in Colfax and Sheridan. And I think they would get a lot out of it, whether it's elementary, junior high, or high school. I think that they'll get a lot out of it if we invite them to it.
Great, thank you. All right, anything else on AEP 6? Any other questions?
Jim?
Yeah, this morning, I think it was this morning, I was listening to KVMR while I'm driving around Roseville, and they had, they shared the AEP 6 study report on the radio this morning and gave out a lot of information, how important it was, gave out the numbers, how many jobs were created, how many dollars spent. They just reported all
That's so awesome to hear.
Yay, thank you,
that was
Patrick.
the Nevada Arts Council.
Yeah,
Nevada Arts Council, okay.
yeah, because
Oh,
it's out of Nevada City.
why, Patrick, why can't we reach out to
We've
somebody?
sent it to K High as well. So we're.
Did you?
we're working
Okay,
on
I
it.
thought that's, I don't, did that ever turn out all right? Did she ever,
No,
you guys, anything said?
No, we weren't able to connect back with her. She never responded. So,
Okay.
But we'll keep trying.
Okay.
The one thing, Darcy, I know we're talking about Randy Cohen coming, and I think that's so awesome. I having an opportunity to meet him. He's just a dynamic person. The one thing with that AEP 6, I do want to get with you guys to take it on a road show. Because it's one thing to share with the Board of Supervisors, here it is. I think it's another thing to get before them to say, here it is, and this is why it's important, and to highlight these things so that they understand how that data can be used to help them do their job.
Okay,
And
switch
do
to
a
the
road
Board of
show.
Supervisors.
Yes, and that could be a great opportunity for each one of our board members who have a specific, who are assigned to a Board of Supervisor to tag along with you guys as you do that presentation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll follow up with you.
Okay. I think that's a great idea to introduce our board members, and it'll also ensure that our board members have somewhat of an understanding of what that AEP 6 study is. Of course, you guys will do most of the talking because you know exactly what it's about, but to have them accompany you, I think would be a good thing.
We'll have to practice.
Okay.
And it's great. They've broken down their messages. I sent out to all of you key messages in case you're engaging in conversations, but how jobs support the economy. They support creativity and innovation. They make social connections. They build empathy and understanding, and the arts make our communities more livable. Those are kind of the key points. And the data in the study backs up all those messages. So it's great.
Yeah, I think it was a very
Glad we are
effective
part of
one
it.
when we show up for public comment. So it keeps their ears popped up. So
Yeah. So Jim, kudos to you, because I know you
Yes.
did a lot of those surveys. So it does not go unnoticed that your efforts to make sure that we were able to capture the number of surveys that we did. You were always reporting out. You were very diligent about it. So thank you, sir, for all of your efforts with that survey study.
Thank you, Juan. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
check the acknowledgements page.
Yeah.
We're in there.
Yeah. So thank you, Jim. Darcy, I think you're still up.
yep,
Sorry,
arts and culture.
we should spread me out. You guys are going to get tired of hearing from me, but really briefly, the Placer County Arts and Culture magazine is coming together. I'd like to get it out next week. Thanks to Gloria for writing a feature on Susie Bauer. Thanks to Del Grito, who's writing a story on performing arts, our spotlight piece. And we still need some advertisers, some sponsors. So it's not too late. We've extended that deadline if anyone has any contacts. Thanks again to Sierra for creating a database where you can look to see who's been asked. If anybody else has anyone, if not, it's digital. I think we're going to roll. Anything else on the magazine? Any questions?
Sorry, I'll get that email.
And then Arts and Culture Month.
November Arts and Culture Month. Patrick and I knocked out an actual complete toolbox with resources for arts organizations. So they can open this up and there's social media posts already created. There's links to download.
logos and graphics.
Thank you. Logos, graphics. Patrick provided links to, if you don't know how to create an event on Facebook so that it automatically populates, here's how to do it. And again, sending that message of, if you have an event, put it on Facebook, make ACPC a co-host, and it'll automatically now populate to our new website. Yay.
Yay. I remind me when we do the second quarter, that fulfills one of the requests by the county. Big time. I didn't know you guys were doing it. You're
We got it
sneaky.
done.
We
We're
gotta
quick.
yeah, you are. So we'll add that to the next one, which because they had so much this time. Oh, that I am so
Yeah,
impressed with
we
you
got a
two.
head start on that so that we can repurpose it in January as well. And we've also included a link in there for nonprofits with instructions on how they can get a free Canva for nonprofit. So if you're not familiar with Canva, it's basically an online design tool to make graphics and everything else.
You guys
So
never cease to amaze me. The
You know who
opportunities
told me about that was what's her name up at Lake Tahoe Dance Company. When I talked
Kristen
to her,
Hannah.
Kristen
Kristen.
Hannah,
Yeah.
I asked her and we were talking about because her report, I called her because her report was, I believe, the new gold standard. And I said for grant reporting, and I called her and we talked and I said, organizations that have more staff, she says, I beg to differ with you. And I said, okay. She says, it's just me. And I
He does
said,
it all.
oh, are you kidding me? She says, no. And I said, well, what did you use? She said, Canva or whatever it is. And I said, tell me about it because I don't know what it is. And she says, it's just templates, Wow.
It can be a lot of
Yeah.
fun for people. So
Yeah.
I will forward the toolbox to all of you once it's finalized. We got the draft together today. And then additionally in that toolbox, you'll find an Arts and Culture Month poster. So it's just 8.5 by 11. So anyone could print it off their printers at home or at work and put it in your window. So any of you board members at your place of work, you can post it there. If you have a friend who has a place of business, they can stick it in their window. We're drumming up support as always for arts and culture and celebrating November, Placer County's official Arts and Culture Month.
Oh, I'm just thinking that's outreach in some sense. I'll have to talk to Jim, see what he's got available. I used to do that outreach where I took it to all the art galleries and all the shops, like in Lincoln and different things, and they put it in their windows. Why not? We'll have to talk about that.
If we want to budget for a few to be printed, I can do that if anyone's available.
That's a good idea. That's also an opportunity for board members.
Yep.
To
To
share.
take them out, to hand them out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yep.
if we can, that would be great.
Yeah. Let me know how much
And-
they are to print, Darcy, and then I'll give you an idea of what I think we need.
Okay. And
Good.
ballpark color, you're looking at 75 cents to $1 per page. So
Oh, okay, because I used to get the bigger ones, the
yeah, these are
bigger,
just
but we
8.5
don't
by
need
11.
that for this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
And
right. I'll
hopefully
talk
we'll
to you.
grow our subscription list and grow our followers with
Yeah.
that being out
You
there.
can
Something
get
we can
that.
hand out to the public.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jim is, like, let's say Lincoln is going to the Art League of Lincoln, having them put it out on their window, and then I used to go to all the shops in Lincoln. We can do that in Auburn, we can do it in Roseville. It not necessarily all by you, Jim, but other board members, Loomis.
Well, I mean, it's a handout, something that, well, I'm gonna try to put a table up here at we're doing the arts tour, the Placer Arts Tour here, the Sun City Ceramics Group. So
Okay, yeah.
3 days, I was gonna put our table up.
Yeah, that would be a great opportunity. Jim.
For outreach, so if that's something I can put on the table.
Actually, can you just get them a QR code so that people can download it and they can print it at home?
Yeah, because otherwise it's going to be
Yeah,
a lot
that-
to hand out.
that I can even just send you all the draft of the toolbox tonight. Page 1, the first thing's the poster. So just click on it. And in fact, it's on our website now. On placerarts.org, you go under events, we have Arts and Culture Month, and Trent has the poster posted already. So Jim, your events this weekend, is that what you said?
Oh, we're doing the regular studio tour, the artist
Oh,
studio.
later. So we've got time to get you
November,
those
it'd be
printed.
November 10th.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
great.
think we're doing the 1 week, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Okay, so we've got some time to court. Again, I'll be gone this weekend, but I can leave anything on my porch if you need me
Okay.
to have something
All right.
printed, but
I don't have
next week's
permission yet
perfect,
from
great.
Allison. I'm trying to get permission from Allison to make sure we can do that.
I
Sounds
think
great.
that would
I don't have permission yet, but I did email her.
Great. Well, thanks, everybody. I like having that support. How about real quick head counts, or any other board member would need a few pre-printed for them?
Yeah, I
should
would
order.
want to get some,
You want
especially as we
5,
go into
Tawana?
November. Yes. So,
Yeah, get me about 5, yeah.
Okay, Barbara 5.
and whatever you print off, it would be great. The
Mm.
only, I'm wanting you to do the printing only because of some consistency with the printing that we're
Oh,
gonna.
yeah. That's all. I'll get some printed then for anybody who needs,
Exactly.
and we can have available. If there's any other volunteers who want to take a couple around to key locations, let me know.
Yeah, most people are really good. I mean, I've never had anybody, once you tell them what you're doing, that you're a nonprofit and it's art and this is about the kids and all of this stuff, they let you put it in the window. They'll even hand you the tape in some of the places.
Great.
Thanks, Darcy. Anything else?
You've heard enough from me.
The board development on here, I'm gonna do H and I together. Really and truly need to meet individually with the board members. And it was on my list of things to do. It will get done before our November meeting so that I can make sure. Oh yeah, that's it. That's what it looks like, Patrick.
That's the
Yes.
history. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Darcy, can I get one, like a hard deadline from you for the guide before, because we're moving on to the next topic.
By Friday,
This Friday?
if you're feeling better, yeah.
Okay.
How about by Sunday night? Does that help? Sunday night would be
Okay,
great.
Sunday.
If I
Thanks,
can get it
Delgrita.
too, because we've got that. I just love to take it to Auburn when they do the presentation for October. We're going to be in their chambers so that I can share it then.
You'd like,
Yeah.
For the
It'll be-
city of Auburn,
Yeah.
because they're gonna do the presentation.
you wanted the poster, Tawana?
If you can make it available, I'll pick it up on Sunday. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll connect with you.
Okay. To take it with me so that when they do the proclamation or for October, I can also talk to them about, hey, November is Placer County Art and Cultural Month, and here is our poster and all that good stuff, and look for more of that and encourage them to attend Placer Art Studio.
Okay,
Tour.
got it.
Okay.
I'll connect
Okay.
with you.
So board development and projects for board members, again, I'll be reaching out to each of the board members to set up a time so that we can make sure that you guys as board members are really and truly feel like you're getting developed and that you have a full understanding of the role and responsibilities. And so there are a list of projects. And I know they are attached. Catherine let me know they're attached. So as you take a look at the attachment, those projects that are on there, if you see one that you really and truly say, you know what, I can step into the role and lead this, that's what we're looking for. But I'm also wanting to get to know what it is about your being on the board of ACPC that we can help you with as well, because it is not only us being there to represent ACPC and our love for art and art in Placer County, but you yourself, if there's an opportunity for us to make sure that we are meeting your needs, being reciprocated and everything. Opportunity to go through the bylaws, opportunities to go through all of the roles and responsibilities for being on the board of ACPC. And I'm not going to go into it because we really and truly need all of our board members present, because there are some requirements that are needed. So I'll be reaching out to each of the board members individually. Any questions about H and I? And then Patrick, J.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to put a copy and paste. Oh, Let me do it. It doesn't, it's too long. So I'm going to share some social numbers in the chat here real quick. So as you can see, we gained 73 followers in the first quarter on Facebook, 39 on Instagram, and 6 on Twitter. Twitter really has kind of gone off the rails recently. You cannot tell what is news and what is just wackadoodle crazy stuff. So we have not been posting on Twitter. It really isn't a reliable platform anymore. We've had to block, and you can't really block people anymore on Twitter. So it's kind of gotten to be a little bit of a wackadoodle area. So I hate to say that. I used to like Twitter, but it has not been a viable, constructive atmosphere on Twitter any longer. So I know we've talked about this in the past, as well as what platforms we support. So right now we're posting everything onto YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. As something is available and we can share it occasionally just to keep the platform viable for us, we are sharing it there, but it is very sporadic. So if you don't see something posted on there for 1 or 2 months, that is going to be fairly normal. I am very happy to report, though, that we had 10 earned media interviews in the first quarter for this with Good Day Sacramento that spotlighted the arts organizations. Some of these we helped to coordinate. Others were based on a relationship that we helped build. And that's the beautiful thing about what we've done over the last 6 years, is that it's not about us taking credit. You never see the Arts Council on Good Day Sacramento, because we have been doing such a good job of reminding local media that they need to come and experience the arts in Placer County, that every time we have an interview, before they leave that interview, I make sure they're connected with the person that we have, and I remind them of 3 things that group is going to be doing in the future that are newsworthy. So they always have follow-up interviews for 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road. And at the same time, if we have something coming up, we're always pinging those reporters. So even if those agencies didn't reach back out and said, oh, well, of course they came out last year for this, they'll come out again. It doesn't work that way. If you don't reach out and ask for it, they don't provide it. So we're constantly throwing story ideas at the media to remind them that we are a very rich art and culture scene in Placer County, and they've been very responsive. And 10 segments. Some of those were 2 segments for 1 interview, and that's even better, because it's very rare that you normally get more than 1 3-minute interview. If they can put together 2, 3 segments, it says quite a bit for the story, that they can't share everything in 3 minutes, and so they really give them more time, and that's beautiful. So that's what I got to share. So keep it up. Make sure that you're already following and liking and commenting on what we're doing on Facebook and on Instagram. It's the ACPC, so at the ACPC. And that helps us build our engagement just by going on there and clicking like and throwing an emoji, or this is wonderful, I had fun, I can't wait to go. Those all help our numbers so that it reaches more people organically, because the last thing I want to have to do is to spend part of our budget on actually doing paid promotions to help us reach more people. Right. So I'd like to rather use the power of our board and of our network to increase our organic reach whenever possible. That's what I got.
And talk about media, Gloria with Gold Country. It's Gold Country Writers, right, Gloria?
Yes.
That we gave the grant to. It's the first time that we gave them a grant in a long time. They did a story contest. They had 56 entries. They had 4 winners? 3 or 4 winners? 3. And Phil Jacques was first place. Apparently, they invited me the day before. I couldn't, and I reached out to Gloria. She did, and from what they published it in the paper, the Auburn Press. I got a lot of wonderful response from them and nice notes and stuff. So thank you, Gloria, for going and doing that.
Yeah, it was the first time they had done that story
Yeah.
contest, and it was super well received. The event went flawlessly. Lots of good people, good conversation. It was a good event. They did a good job.
They're planning on doing it again. So
Yes.
I'm sure we're going to get a request for a grant again coming down the road.
Yeah.
Is that something we can put in the newsletter?
I think we sent it.
We had it posted.
Yeah, we posted it. We sent stuff out on it.
Just curious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a picture of the winners posted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's something, an opportunity for us to highlight.
Yeah, send the information my way, Gloria, if you're
Okay,
when
sure.
you're feeling better, and or whoever has the picture, and Catherine, or send it to Catherine. We'll get it in the newsletter. Forget Catherine's been fantastic at pulling all of our info together.
Catherine, I sent you the thank you note thing I got from them with the pictures, didn't I?
Good.
Yeah. So we should have it.
So what happens with that information, Catherine, when you receive it?
Well, for the newsletter, I put it in a folder on my email, and then I'm starting already to, I take the information and on a sheet, on a file for each one, and I date it and label it, and I send it to Darcy, and she puts
Darcy
it.
gets it. Yeah.
Yep.
So-
And it's if you haven't read the article on Gold Country, it's in the chat as well right now.
Oh,
you.
thank you, Patrick.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
everybody gets it. We send it to, it's kind of evolving, but at first I was sending it, now then Catherine's doing it now. But we send it to Patrick and we send it to Darcy, so that they both have that information and they can use it. So it's constant. There's new stuff every day.
All righty. Thanks, Patrick, for the update. Jim, did you have anything to share?
Well, all I had was the EP6 stuff.
Okay.
And for those of you who weren't at the last meeting, we were slammed at that Makers Fair.
Good slam.
Good slam.
Good slam. Yay.
I'm so glad it's back.
Jim did a fantastic job with a great hands-on activity, and he was a big hit there. So thanks again, Jim.
And Eve, my friend Eve, was with
And
me.
his friend Eve, yes.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
was
and
great. We'd love to have both of you all the time. And I sent pictures to everyone, to the board too. Forgot to
Yeah.
include
Yeah.
Jim.
Well, I'm going to throw this out there because Barbara's Wauters is, I don't want to bother her right now because of her shoulder. I called her to talk about this. Anyway, Eve actually, she isn't a regular volunteer. Jim asked her because they work on the ceramics together. She wasn't anticipating such a big crowd, and she does calligraphy script, Japanese script, and she was doing everybody's names, and she supplied all of that material herself, plus gas and stuff. And so I would like to send her an Amazon gift card for a small amount with a thank you note for doing it, because we don't normally do that when people volunteer, but I don't think she knew what she was getting into. So unless there's anybody that disagrees with that, I was gonna, it's in the budget, it's fine for the budget, so.
I don't think that's a board.
It's not, I just want to make sure nobody has a problem with it. Because that's usually a Barbara and I thing, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that on my own, so. All right, great.
I think that's a great, I think it's a great opportunity to acknowledge Jim and those who are helping him out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
thank
well,
you.
well, Jim and I worked on it together, and I said, well, I'll send her a thank you card, and then he told me, everything, she brought all her own supplies and everything, and suggested that if we want her to do it again, let's reimburse her for the little bit of stuff that.
No, I think that's a great opportunity.
great
If we
idea.
can
Thank
Highlight
you.
volunteers. Let's put
Yep.
her up there. Let's
We
highlight.
need to
her.
make sure we take care of Jim as well, because he gave away a lot of clay. So
I had it donated.
Yeah,
Okay.
he donated.
Jim, you see your opportunity there now. Well, but
And
you
I-
know
and-
what? Thank you.
I love honesty.
thank you for working on getting it donated. That's an
Yeah.
effort as well.
It
So
just fell into my lap. I was going, yeah, I can use that. It's coming
Yeah,
up.
and we talked about getting it from Gladys McBean because they'll donate it.
Oh,
But
I
he
should
says,
have, actually.
yeah, I call Ed and get maybe but if that material, that clay is good for you to work with.
thank
Yeah.
you, Jim. Appreciate you and appreciate Eve. Let her know.
I
Yeah.
think we had about
Um,
she did about 75 of the script. She was doing the Chinese, she's a Chinese calligrapher artist.
Yeah.
And she was doing their names in Chinese.
That's awesome.
She figured about 75 people.
Wow.
And I probably interacted with about the same. And so we figured probably had about 300 people come through the booth.
Thank
That's
you.
good.
So appreciate you and all
give
you
or
do.
take. And all the people that were just standing there watching. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty good crowd.
Okay.
Nice press for ACPC. You make us look good, Jim. Anything else for the good of the cause before we adjourn? Jeff, thank you for joining us. We look forward to having you back.
Yes, thank you for having me. Yes.
So Juana, can you drop the link to the listening thing for Hip Hop Congress in the chat so I could go to the website and look at the event or
I
listen or
think
whatever?
that was Sierra.
I was on there.
It's
I would
on
say
YouTube.
to you that it's Hip Hop Congress. They have a YouTube channel, which is what I'm
Okay.
trying to get to.
Yeah.
So if you go in and you search, never mind, I have it. I'm trying to also think about, did I delete the email? I have it. I will get it to you, Del Rita.
Me also, please.
Yes, I will send
Thank
it to you. I just remembered I did not delete it because I thought I was going to be able to come back and log back in. I wasn't able to, but I'll send it to you. Yes.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
just
And-
dropped the link to their YouTube channel in the link.
Well, that's it because I
Yeah.
was just on their YouTube channel.
I didn't
Yep.
see anything. Their most recent thing was like 2 years ago. This is their
Oh, I
Facebook.
wonder if they recorded it today then.
They may not have. It may have been a live. They have something from a month ago for Peace
I
Camp
mean,
on
I'm
there.
sorry, a month ago. My bad. A
Yeah,
month
It
ago.
no problem.
it was a live event. I don't know if they were recording it because I got on probably about almost 10 minutes into the presentation. So I don't know if it said they were recording it or not.
Okay.
And then had to leave. Sierra, do you know if there was anything about recording it?
I'll call
Oh.
Natalie, and if she has, I'll get it and I'll send it out to everybody.
They
But
had
it-
2 mics, so I think they were recording audio.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it too. Maybe they just I don't know. I thought they were recording it too, but it was on that YouTube channel that Patrick just dropped in
Yeah,
the
okay.
chat.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on their Facebook that they've shared links or anything for it. So it may have been just a live event.
Okay. We'll
They,
figure
and
it
they
out.
may publish it later. Sometimes on those when it's big, it's a matter of you have to go back later and then republish it. So
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Making a note to make sure we touch base with them. Anything else, guys? Was trying to get out of here before an hour and a half.
I think we're good.
We're
Okay,
good.
so we're gonna call the meeting at what time?
7:51, and I will stop recording.
All righty.
Thank
As
you.
a reminder, thank you everybody for joining us. This has been the October board meeting from the Arts Council of Placer County, and it is 7:52. We're going to stop recording. If you want to learn more about us, go to placerarts.org or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the ACPC. Have a great night, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month. It's always the third Wednesday at 6:30. Thank you very much.